We're going to take a look at some Unit 4 test review questions. Go ahead and answer example 1. All right, let's take a look at it as a group. A food company reduced the amount of sugar in their product from 64 grams to 48 grams. What is the percent decrease of the sugar in their product? Well, the first thing that you notice is that it asks for the percent decrease. And we talked about a formula where we needed to say we want to take the new number of whatever we're talking about, subtract the old number from it, and then divide it by the old number. And then we're going to set that to the percent over 100. We need to go and read and figure out if we have 64 and 48 grams, which was the new number, what was the old number? So it says that it went from 64 to 48. So we know that the new number is 48. So that means I'm going to subtract 64, put it over 64. And because it asks for the percent, we don't know what the percent is, and we're going to divide by 100. We're going to go ahead here and use our calculator. You should be using your calculator. You're going to go 48 minus 64 equals times 100, and then we always divide by x's partner. As soon as you divide by x's partner, you're going to get that x equals negative 25, and because that's a percent, we want to toss the percent there. But because we'll never have negative percents, if we take a look at our answer choices, we know we want to pick the positive, so you should have selected 25%. Go answer example 2 on your own. Let's take a look. Mr. Plank bought a pair of shoes that were on sale for 20% off the original price of $98.95, which is the closest to the sale price of the pair of shoes. All right, so the first key word here that I see is that it says it was on sale for 20% off. So this means that this is going to be a discount question. I'm going to go ahead and set my proportion up, and when we set our proportion up, depending on what teacher you have, we say that it's the dollar amount of the discount over the total amount before a discount. And that's going to be percent over 100. We're going to go ahead and fill in what we know. So we don't know the discount because we're trying to find that. So we're going to label that X. The amount was $89.95 before the sale. We know that the sale was 20%, and that's always over 100%. We're going to go ahead, take our crisscross, and multiply the two numbers that we can, and we're going to divide by x's partner, which is 100. As soon as we do that, we get that x equals $17.99. Now we need to go back and read the question, and it says, which is the closest to the sale price? So because it says sale price, we know we have to subtract here. So we're going to take the original amount of the shoes, and we're going to subtract our sale, and as soon as you pop that in the calculator, you should have been left with $71.96. Go ahead and answer example 3. A librarian knows that 45% of the books currently checked out will not be returned on the due date. The library has a total of 6,460 books. How many of the library's books will be returned on the due date? Well, one of the things that I want to address here is that it does say 45% will not. So I know that the other part, which is 55%, will be returned. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my proportion. And I'm going to go that we don't know how many will be returned, so that's X over the total amount of books that we have. And even though it does say 45%, we address that, and that 45% represents the percent that will not be returned. So I actually want to say 55% here because I know that those are the ones that will be returned. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply the numbers that I can. I'm going to divide by x's partner, and as soon as I divide by x's partner, I am left with 3,553 books that will be returned on the due date. Go ahead and answer example 4. Let's see what you got. Miss Scott bought a new car and had to borrow $7,500 from the bank. The bank charged a simple interest rate of 9.5% for 6 years she had the bank loan. What was the total cost of the loan? Because I see words such as simple interest rate, bank loan, I know on my proof paper I want to go and write I equals, P equals, R equals, and T equals. Let's take a look at some of the things I can fill in. The first thing that I notice is this percent. So that is our rate. You know you cannot have a percent, so we need to double dip that, or you could pop that in your calculator and say 9.5. Then hit the second key and then number 2, which will convert it to a decimal. So we know that our rate is going to be 0.095. The time, remember the time has to be in years, so that does say 6, so I can say that t equals 6. And our principal is anything that you borrow, you take out, you get a loan for. And we know that she had to take a loan out of $7,500. We're missing our interest, so we know we need to go find that. The formula is I equals PRT, and I'm going to go input all the numbers that I have. 7,500 times 0.95 times 6. It's a matter of now going ahead, popping that all in your calculator. When you do that, you get 4,275. The big thing here is that it does say total cost, so we know that total means we need to take two numbers. I think the easiest is that we know we need to take $2 numbers and add them together. We know that interest is dollars, principal is dollars, so I'm going to go ahead and take 4,275 and add that to my principal. When I pop those in my calculator, I get a total of $11,775. Go answer number 5 on your own. All right, let's see. Dr. Johnson bought a total of 40 cupcakes. Each vanilla cupcake costs us 60 cents, including tax. Of the cupcakes she bought, 2/5 were vanilla cupcakes. What was the total cost of only the vanilla cupcakes? So one of the things that I really like about this question is that it does already give us a fraction, and we know that that fraction is 2/5. I like to kind of talk about, well, what does that 2/5 mean to us? In our denominator is our whole, part over whole. What are we talking about here? Well, we are talking about a whole bunch of cupcakes. But more specifically, which is our part, what exactly are we talking about? We are talking about vanilla cupcakes. So we know that for every 5 cupcakes you have in front of you, 2 of them are vanilla. It also says in the first sentence that Dr. Johnson bought a total of 40 cupcakes. So we know that that 40 is going to be our denominator because we know she bought 40 in all. But out of that 40, let's find out how many of them are vanilla. We need to go ahead, we need to cross multiply by the numbers that we can, divide by x's partner. When you divide by x's partner, you get that x equals 16. Well, 16 represents the amount of vanilla cupcakes she purchased. It says that each vanilla cupcake was 60 cents. So we need to take 16 and multiply that by 0.60. As soon as you multiply that by 0.60, you are left with $9.60. Go ahead, answer 6. Let's see if you got it. Dolly polled people at the mall to determine which types of movies they preferred to watch. She displayed the results in a circle graph. Of the people polled, 60 preferred to watch action movies. Determine the number of people Dolly polled. Okay. So we need to set up a proportion here. And we know that it's going to be percent over 100. Just like with the cupcake question, we want to kind of talk about who or what. Well, here we are talking about the amount of people that Dolly polled. More specifically, we're talking about action movies. So I need to fill in this proportion. So one of the things that I notice is that if I take a look at my circle graph, all right, it does say that 30% enjoyed action movies. So I can say 30 over 100. It also says that 60 people preferred to watch action movies. And I'm going to throw the x in the denominator because that represents the amount of people that Dolly had polled. I'm going to go ahead, multiply by my crisscross, and I am going to divide by x's partner. As soon as I do that, I get that x equals 200, and 200 represents the amount of people that Dolly had originally polled when determining what movies they liked. Go answer 7. You and 5 friends go to lunch. You plan to split the bill evenly and you plan to leave a 20% tip. If the bill is $57.50 before the tip, which is the closest to the amount each person will pay for the meal, which includes the tip. So one of the things we want to talk about is it does talk about that we are talking about a tip question. So I'm going to go, all right, dollar amount over tip over the dollar amount of the total before. Then I have percent over 100. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to fill in what I can. We don't know how much money they're paying for the tip, but we do know that the total before was $57.50. They also say that they want to leave a 20% tip, and that is all over 100. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to multiply by the crisscross that I can and divide by 100. When I do that, I get x equals 1150. 1150 is the amount that they're going to pay for the tax, but we need to, because it talks about each of them paying, we need to add that to our total before. When I do that, I get $69. Now, it says that you and your 5 friends, so there's 6 of you, and the question says that you want to split it evenly. Splitting means we need to divide by 6, and as soon as you divide by 6, each of you are going to be paying about $11.50. Go ahead and answer 8. Let's see. The Smiths purchased 9 containers of ice cream for a party. Each container holds 9 cups of ice cream. Before the party, their son ate 3 cups of ice cream. What fraction of the original amount of ice cream purchased did the Smith's son eat? Now this is a little different than the ones we've been seeing in the past. However, we still need to create some proportion. So we need to go, okay, who or what are we talking about here? Well, we're actually talking about cups of ice cream. And who specifically are we talking about? Well, we're talking about how much the son ate. So let's go ahead. How many cups did the son eat? Said he ate 3. All right, and it says that they have 9 containers, and if there's 9 cups, we know that there's a total of 81 cups in total. Now you need to go figure out which fraction is equivalent to 3 over 81. So I would go ahead and plug 3 divided by 81 in my calculator. I get 0.037. In my calculator, I would go ahead, pop all of those in, and the same one that equals exactly what I got before is going to be 1 over 27. Go ahead and answer 9. All right, let's see what you got. Mary purchased 6 items that were $1 each. If the sales tax is 5%, how much was Mary's total bill, including tax? So the most important thing here is that it does say she bought 6 items that were $1 each. So we know that she actually spent a total of $6. All right, so we don't know how much the actual tax was, but we do know she spent a total of $6. And that is a 5% sales tax over 100. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cross multiply by the numbers that I can and divide by X's partner. As soon as I divide by X's partner, I get 30 cents in tax. But it does say how much was Mary's bill, total bill, that did include that sales tax. And as soon as I take the 30 cents and add it to $6, I get $6.30. Last one, go ahead. All right, let's see if you can go 10 for 10. The manager at Ben's furniture store bought a sofa at a wholesale price of $114 and decides to mark up all the furniture by 55%. What price should the manager sell the sofa for? Okay, because this is a markup question, we need to say, okay, we know that the numerator is going to be the dollar amount of the markup over the dollar amount of the total before the markup, and we know that that's always a percent over 100. Well, we don't know the actual markup, but we do know that the total before purchasing it at wholesale was $114, and our percent is 55 over 100. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply by the numbers that I can and divide by X's partner. And as soon as I do that, I get X equals 62.70. But the thing that it does say here is that at what price should the manager sell it for? It does not ask for a markup, so I need to add that to the original price that we purchased that at. And as soon as I add those numbers together, I get that the manager should sell it for $176.70.